Hi, my name's Susie and I'm the six-figure blogger behind the blog Girl Gone Green. I share all about how to blog and all my tips and tricks I've learned in my last 7 years of blogging. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you exactly what you should be focusing on and what you should actually be doing in those first few months of blogging to make sure you're on the right path. I wish someone would have told me what to focus on when I first started blogging. It would have saved me from making so many mistakes. So I'm going to give you a blueprint of all the things you should focus on and what you should be doing in those first few months to make sure you're focusing on money-making activities that will actually propel your blog forward. Okay, number one is to figure out what your blogging goal is. Is your goal with blogging to actually replace your income, to be able to quit your job? Is this just a side hustle where you want to maybe pay off something, or you're just doing it for fun? Figure out what your goal is in blogging, and that will really help propel you forward and keep you motivated when things get hard or maybe you're not seeing the results that you want to see right away. As long as you have that goal in front of you of what you want to do or accomplish, it can really help you. I'm a big proponent of goals in general. I always have a vision board every year. I always have my goals written out where I can see them, because then it helps keep me motivated and on that path to actually create them. I know there was a statistic that said people who actually write down their goals are like so much more likely to actually achieve them than the people who don't write them down and just have them in their head. So write down your goal, figure out what the purpose of your blog is, and then also I would recommend even writing down like what you want to accomplish with your blog in say a year, and maybe then break it down into 6 months. I like to do those little chunks because then it can really help keep you going in all those hard times like I mentioned. So maybe in the first year, you really want to be able to put ads on your site. So that means you have to get a certain amount of traffic, or maybe it's you want to partner with a certain brand, or maybe you want to make so much in affiliate income. Just really figure out what your blogging goals are initially, big picture, like as far as if you want it to be replacing your income, or if you want it to be a side hobby, and then have little small goals just to help keep you motivated throughout the process so you don't get, just kind of weighed down. Because obviously there's going to be hard times, just like with anything, but you just have to stay focused. The second thing is to pick your website and get it all set up. So this should not take you a really long time. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't try to perfect it. Remember, we don't need perfection. We just need it to be done. We need it to look clean. We need it to be easy to navigate, and we're good to go. We want to also pick our niche or niche. I always don't know which one to say because I feel like I hear them all the time, but you want to pick your niche because you really want to know what you're focusing on. So make sure that your niche is something that you're really excited about, something that you really want to talk about for a long period of time, and then you're not going to get bored with. It's so easy to maybe pick something that you're into right now, but down the line, are you going to be into it? Are you going to be excited about it? Are you going to want to keep writing about it? Is there longevity to it? Is it something that can grow? Really think about your niche, because this is something that you're going to be writing about for a really long time. I've been writing about my niche for over 8 years now, but I love it. There's always something to learn. There's always something new out, trending, something I can try, something I can share about. So it's always evolving and changing. But I would also, just caution you, say if you are going through college and you're wanting to write about maybe just like college experience or how to pay off your loans or whatever. Is that something you're going to want to, write about, say, in 5 years? Maybe not. If you are, maybe going through the motherhood stage of having babies and you're wanting to write about pregnancy, okay, are you going to want to write about pregnancy down the line, or is that something that is going to get old after a while? I know for me, I have wrote a few blog posts about having a baby because I have 4 kids, but I don't focus on that entirely, just because that to me would not be something I want to focus on long term, because I wouldn't find it interesting. I wouldn't be passionate enough about it to continue blogging about that. So really figure out what niche you're going to be able to consistently talk about, learn about, and be excited about, because that is really important when you are going to be writing about something for indefinitely. Make sure, as well as setting up your website, that you set up Google Search Console and Google Analytics. This is going to help you so much when you are trying to, you know, figure out your goals and make sure that you stay on track with them, because you're gonna be able to see how many page views, who's coming to your blog, where they're coming from, all those good juicy details. And that can really share with you important information on how your blog is growing. Because if you don't know how your blog is growing, you're not gonna be able to know like when to pivot, what to change, and all of that. And you wanna really be able to adapt and grow with your blog, because you're gonna have to. It's, you know, constantly changing. There's always, you know, new things happening in the blogging world. And so you're gonna wanna know like what you should be doing and how your blog is doing. And those are great places to be able to basically see your growth and then see, you know, over time, like trends and things that, you know, are doing well. Maybe you'll have some blog posts that do really well and it helps you like pivot in that direction to post more about certain topics. So really make sure and install Google Analytics and Google Search Console. Okay, number 3 is to find keywords for content creation. So this is really important. Obviously, there's so many things you can be focusing on, but really focusing on your keywords and content creation is king. I say it all the time. I feel like a broken record, but really for longevity in your blog and to see, you know, results quicker, you're going to want to focus on your content and making sure that it's optimized. When I say optimize, meaning that it's SEO optimized. That means search engine optimization. So you're making sure that you are writing for SEO and not just writing to write. In the beginning, when I first started blogging, I was just like, I'm so passionate. I'm going to write about this. I'm going to write about that. And I had no idea what I was doing. My posts weren't ranking. If they did, it was literally by luck or chance. And I just didn't know what I didn't know. And then once I figured out SEO, it changed the game for me. My posts started ranking. I started to like 10x my income. It was a game changer. So definitely focus on those keywords and SEO. I talk about this in another video that I'll link below where I share exactly how to find keywords. I mentioned 2 different tools, Keywords Everywhere and then SEMrush. You can use both of those to find different keywords that you could actually be ranking for as far as like a lower competition and a high volume. I explain all of that. So check out that video. I'll leave a link in the description box for you. Okay, the 4th thing is to create a content calendar. This might seem so small and minimal, but really it's so huge. When you put it out there, you know, on a schedule that you're going to blog a certain amount of times a week, and this is what you're going to blog about, it definitely puts things in motion and holds you to it a lot more than if you just have it in your head and you think you're gonna make it happen. Because really, blogging should be treated as a business. And if you're not treating it as a business, then you shouldn't be blogging, because you are going to have to be disciplined. You're going to have to say no. You're going to have to just, you know, even when you don't see income, even when you aren't seeing results, you're going to have to go and get the work done and write the blog post. So I highly recommend that you create a content calendar. I do mine in Google Calendar. It's free. It's super easy. Just write in how many times a week you're going to blog. Just make sure you find whatever you can commit to. I know a lot of times it's easy for people to say, I'm going to write 5 blog posts a week, but if you work full time and you have kids, that's probably not going to happen. So really figure out what you can actually commit to and then just commit to that every week, whether it's 1 blog post or 2 blog posts. I started out with 2. That's what I recommend. But if you could only do 1, I'd say start there and just be consistent with that. Make sure that each blog post, you know, is optimized, like I said, with keywords, and that you're consistent with posting every week, and your audience will know then what to expect from you. Okay, number 5 is to learn from your mistakes and grow. This is a big one, because I think a lot of times people, they're like, okay, let's move on to the next thing. And they haven't even mastered one thing. And I always talk about this, I feel like, whether it's on Instagram or, you know, in my videos on YouTube, but constantly just be learning and growing and tweaking one thing and focusing on that. Don't move on until you feel like you've really mastered it, because I was not like this and it really backfired, and I could have been even further ahead than I am now if I would have just focused on one thing. So what I say, focus on your content always first. In those first few months, just focus on that. Focus on really making sure you understand keywords, you understand how to write blog content, you understand, you know, what your system is and like how you're actually going to get it done and what you can stick to and commit to. Once you have all of that figured out, that is going to be huge, because most people never figure that part out. They think that blogging is about posting on Instagram and posting on, you know, the latest TikTok or whatever, or, you know, trying to get their email set up, which those are all things that you should eventually start to think about, but they're not going to produce anything in the beginning with blogging. They just won't. And even in the long term, it's not passive income. So don't focus on them. Focus on what's actually going to move the needle in your blog. And that is going to be writing your content and SEO. It's going to create that passive income. It's going to start to give you those results and those quick wins, which will help keep you going as a blogger. So learn from your content. So obviously you're not going to hit it out of the park right away. It's going to take a little bit of time, some blog posts for you to really get your rhythm down in blogging and to figure out like how you like to blog, like what schedule. Do you like to blog at night? Do you like to blog when it's super quiet? Do you better on a Sunday than on a Friday night, or whatever it is? Figure out how, you know, blogging even works. I mean, there's a whole method to blogging. It's not just like sitting down and writing something you're passionate about. There's actually things that you have to include, keywords, answering people's questions. You know, there's a lot that goes into a blog post. And so you want to make sure that you kind of have that rhythm down of what's expected. My VA and I, we create content planners, so we know exactly what needs to be in each blog post. That's really helpful as well. Obviously down the line might be something you consider, but just know that until you have the content creation part down, you shouldn't be moving on to anything else. So for the first few months, just get like tunnel vision on creating really amazing content, because that's going to move your blog forward. I wanted to give you guys an example of why content creation is so important and why it's really the kind of income that you want long-term. So I have a post that I wrote like over 5 years ago now. It might even be 6. And it was when I was really learning about SEO and the power of it. And literally it still ranks on Google's homepage, and I'm making thousands of dollars each month just from that one post. It's crazy. Like, I'm not even doing anything for it. I optimize it or like update it once a year, but other than that, I literally don't do anything to that post. It just makes me money each month. That's it. Passive income. I don't have to think about it. I'm not working anymore for it. I wrote the post, I update it once a year, and it makes me money. That is the power of really honing in on your content, creating SEO friendly content, and just getting down your rhythm. Because once you do that, it just works for you. Time is your friend when it comes to blogging. The longer it's out there, the more chances of it actually getting picked up when you have optimized it for SEO. Okay, I hope this video was helpful when thinking about what you should be doing in those first few months of blogging. I know it can be super overwhelming, so I wanted to give you some steps and tips so that way you can just focus on these things instead of getting sidetracked by all the other shiny objects that are out there when it comes to your beginning stages of blogging. Even if you just have a website that you created maybe a year ago or even a couple months ago, just start now and focusing on those things that I mentioned, and you will definitely start seeing results if you stay consistent. Okay guys, thanks so much for watching. If you like this type of content, be sure and download my free blogging checklist where I share how to optimize each and every blog post. Also be sure to subscribe and like this type of content. I will see you in my next video.